We were going through a bit of a difficult process at the time when we considered Stiltz. The whole process for us to actually get the lift that we needed was very difficult. The provider that we were asked to use by the local authority let us down massively on several occasions, and on the day of the build and installation it just didn't turn up. We then had to look for another provider. We quickly found Stiltz. There were only a couple of other providers that seemed to have a reasonably good reputation, and we just liked what we saw. We liked what we saw on the TV at the time as well, coincidentally, the adverts, and we liked the way the lifts looked. So we wanted to look more closely at Stiltz, so we got in contact straight away. The lift installation has been absolutely amazing. It has changed things. My wife in particular was really struggling lifting our daughter, who's been going through a series of growth spurts over the last couple of years since we started this process. It's getting to quite a worrying stage where at one point there was actually an accident on the stairs. Thankfully neither of them were hurt, but a really close call. That really put some urgency on getting this lift in. So as soon as we got a lift in, enabled us to get Jasmine, our daughter, up and downstairs safely, and it was a godsend, it really was. Prior to the home lift, we struggled. We really struggled at times. My biggest worry when I was working night shifts, for instance, and my wife was having to take our daughter upstairs to bed or to a bath or what have you, and particularly when we had the near miss, and thankfully neither of them were hurt. It was worrying times, really worrying times. You know, we've had suggestions of people saying, yes, you know, convert the garage and put your child in a room there, but we want our child to be able to access every room in the house and have as normal existence as possible. So we were determined to have this lift, so she could, for that reason. But yeah, as soon as we got a lift in, what a difference. Where we've sited the lift, in fact, is great because she can go straight out of the lift upstairs and into the landing and into any room in the house upstairs. And likewise, when she comes downstairs, she can come straight out to the kitchen table, turn left or go out into the garden, or turn right and go down the hallway into her playroom or the lounge. So it's kind of right at the heart of the house where we put it. So it will really help her as she's growing to appreciate, you know, the fact that she can access everywhere quite easily. As Jasmine grows, obviously we're going to be more reliant upon the lift anyway. You know, obviously trying to get her up and downstairs is going to be nigh on impossible when she's getting bigger and bigger and heavier. So the lift is invaluable, and it's something that we'll have to use. And it's not just for our benefit either, because eventually when we manage to get a carer in to give us some respite at some point, it's something that they would need as well, for safe manual handling of a child or a person, and you know, so it's absolutely essential. This whole process wasn't easy for us, unfortunately. It didn't go very smoothly, but when we did get to the point where we were going through the process of trying to purchase a Stiltz lift through the DFG process, Alistair, who works at Stiltz, couldn't help us enough. And he liaised very closely with the council as well, and to help us speed things up. So yeah, it was brilliant actually. It was quite refreshing. Our journey led us to question how good their recommended provider actually was, and after certain red flags came up, and the number of times they let us down, you know, we were able to actually take a step back from this and have a look at the other providers out there. Stiltz stood out for us massively on this, initially because the whole look of the product, aesthetically, it looks far better than other products out there at the moment. So we looked more closely at Stiltz. Stiltz couldn't do enough for us in terms of that initial support with the DFG application and the following up of that application to help push it along. They knew what our circumstances were at the time, which were pretty urgent actually, pretty dire, and you know, the support from them was, to be quite frank, amazing. The support from Stiltz since the lift has been installed, again, we know is there, is great, and seems to be another level when you look at other providers out there. If you're going through this process and you're able to look at the Stiltz product, I'd highly recommend it for those reasons. I think one last thing to mention actually regarding Stiltz lifts. which is something that you don't think about straight away, is when you look at all the other options out there, typically your through floor lift will come with some sort of hydraulic pump, and it's quite a large box, and you go through the process of trying to decide where's the best place for it. Is it going to go on the wall outside where it emits quite a bit of noise for all the neighbours to hear, or do you find somewhere in your house to put it? And it is noisy. With the Stiltz option, it's an integrated electric motor and it's quiet. What a difference that makes. I work nights, for instance, sometimes, so for me to get some sleep during the day and for my daughter to use a lift, that's not going to wake me up. So much better option for us in that respect.